What's going on? What's going on? Another Saturday Sweep webinar. This time we're doing a series here for you guys, the trader's hierarchy of needs, and we are on the fourth level to our pyramid here, and we have a landing page for you guys for anybody who wants to access all 5 parts. We haven't gotten through the whole thing thus far, but you guys have the link in your question box. And you can go ahead and access this link for all previous recordings, as well as more information about Sang Lucci and Wall Street Jesus. So basically, this pyramid assesses the likelihood here that you're going to be able to consistently make money in the market, and how successful you will be if you go ahead and own some of these skills and continue to expound upon them. And where we are right now in the pyramid is your identity formation. So this is after you've built a solid technical foundation, technical being, hey, what is a candlestick? What is chart patterns? What is a market maker? What is tape reading? What is, any form of analysis that you want to go ahead and use? Maybe you got your moving average discussions here. Maybe you're trying to figure out exactly what strategy, works for certain types of markets. Whatever it is, that is your technical foundation. And then you got your psychological foundation, this one being the more important one, because you realize that technical foundation, you can easily put in the effort, you can easily find the information. Anybody who wants to Google anything, again, we are in that sort of era, so if you Google options trading or, how to trade a call spread or what is a call spread, you can do anything here and find any of the information that you need as far as the technical stuff. Now, for the psychology, that's something that you really won't get a lot of. But these days, you are definitely there's a lot of content around the psychology, right? You have even trading coaches, right? I mean, who's the biggest one? You got Brett Steenbarger, right? He's one of the biggest ones for this guy on Twitter. You get a bunch of these guys as well. So most of their content is focused around the psychology of trading and how to deal with the ups and downs, how to deal with the emotions, how to deal with, your crazy P&L swings and all that kind of stuff. And ironically, this guy's probably one of the biggest ones out here, and he still has a blog spot. He still has a blog. This shit is so 2005 right here. This is legit 2005 right here, and he still has it. He doesn't give a shit. These posts are, recent here too. And here you go, understanding prediction and what makes discretionary traders successful. You'll find all of these articles here on, guys like Steenbarger and several other folks on Twitter as well. This is your psychological foundation. This is what makes you tick when you're in a trade. What happens when you go on a bad string of losses, or a great string of winners? What happens when you go on a winning streak? You start to figure out these things about yourself that you're going to have to pay attention to. And then we get to our third level here, habits and skills. So now you're honing your psychological foundation and technical foundation here, and you're adding in other, factors, other variables into your equation here, into your equation of becoming profitable, possibly hanging around other, better traders than you, more advanced, more experienced traders than you, adding in some more risk management stuff. Maybe you want to add some automation in this level, and advancing your market knowledge in general of how the market works, all the participants, how they connect with each other to form, large moves in the market. You notice we recently are just coming off another explosive move higher off a jobs report, same way that we went on last month's jobs report. So if any of you guys remember, the actual breakout to all-time highs before was a jobs report. It was a jobs report. It was right here. July 8th, this is when we had the jobs report in the morning, and we ripped through, some pretty big levels, and we never stopped. We never stopped going, and subsequently after that, made a nice big run up. If you're looking at the same thing here, you get a little shakeout here. Everybody comes back, and, possible target up here at around 220 on the SPY. Same kind of situation, right? So your habits and skills here, are you kind of expanding upon your experience just looking at things that are working in the market right now. And then we get to today, which is your identity formation. And this is a fun one because, this is where you start to look within, right? You start to look within, you start to look at all of these things here and figure out, like, finally, okay, what works for me? What actually works for me, and what can I throw out the window here? So before we even start, how many of you guys are at the point where, you do know what works for you, but you're constantly pulled in other directions because maybe what works for you is currently not working right now, and you try to go with another strategy? How many of you guys add in other strategies when you're kind of looking for answers, right? Or let's say, you're not making money right now, whatever it is, you start pulling in other strategies. You start doing things that other people maybe in a chat room are doing, or other people on Twitter are doing, or you start looking at different markets, stuff that you wouldn't look at previously. Rusty is saying not there now, but have been there in the past. Exactly. This is a known issue, right? So you start to defend, or you throw stuff like this out of the situation once you really know your identity as a trader. And I think we'll start with the blanket statement that trading is a extremely personal thing, and it brings out all your faults. It brings out all your whatever's really great about you, and whatever's really, really bad about you as far as decision making, as far as emotions and all that kind of stuff. Trading is the one thing that brings it all out because you can't hide it. It all flies out into the market, and it stares at you every single day, every single time that you make a trade. And, most people get to hide from these kind of emotions, these things that happen inside their head, and traders have to be honest with themselves. You got no other choice here. And if you're not honest with yourself, you can't find this identity here. So, Jesus and I are going to ramble with a couple of stories here on how we kind of fell into our identities, and then just kind of stuck with it, and then just really stuck with it. And we'll kind of give you the ups and downs of them too, because I know, for one, that my identity is trading aggressive options on breakouts, right? And end of 2014, 2015, this shit wasn't working. Like, I'm talking about the whole year. And I went through the whole year just looking for other ways to do things. But I'm still, stuck on this one identity, which just is not working. And I couldn't stop myself from doing the same thing over and over because, again, you're so used to, this is called habit formation, you know what I mean? And to break some of those habits is extremely difficult. So a lot of identity formation is being able to assess, is my shit working right now? And if it's not, what am I going to do? And, the answer to that is extremely important here. So, Jesus, I'm going to kick it back to you here. Let's talk a little bit about, finding that identity and what, how can we help these traders find that identity quicker?
And I mean, to me, this is the most important spot. I know, this is always at the end, okay? This is the last step before you can realistically try to find any consistency and put that into action in this game. But I think traders overlook and bypass this step so many times. And I think they run into trouble because of it. And it's so often ignored. Like, people just want to get in the game and play, right? We all want to do that. We all want to trade. We all want stocks to go up or options to go up, make some money. And, now more and more that I talk to, more retail traders in the steam room and so forth, they want to bypass this identity formation step and just like and discover something profitable that will apply to everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like something is out there that can work for every trader regardless of their account size, regardless of their risk parameters, regardless of their emotions. Even though almost every single trader is different in one sort of way, I think it's a common mistake amongst retail traders that even experienced ones, which I'm not even talking about new traders in the game. I'm even talking about people who've been trading for years. They are looking for something that can apply to everyone, and I think that's rare. Something may be able to work for me and you per se, okay, but to work for all of us, that's not going to happen. So, this is why I think this last step is the most important stage of it all. I know emotions, keeping your emotions in check is the most difficult and so forth because they're so hard to control. Okay, but this is a step that I think that you're not going to find any consistency, and you're going to learn that you spin your wheels and you're going to take a couple steps forward and then give it all back. A couple steps forward and then give it all back. This was the final stage where I put everything together and said, okay, now it's time for me to get serious. This is the only thing that works for me. You know what I mean? It was at this stage where light bulbs went off and I got serious, and not only serious, I became passionate about doing just that each and every day and to get better at just that and not distracted. And sometimes it takes longer for others than it will for me or you per se. I mean, everybody's different. But you got to find something you're comfortable with. And I say this all the time, guys. I probably said it in every single one of these steps throughout every webinar. You got to find something not only you're comfortable with, but that you're confident in. You know what I mean? Without the confidence there, you're going to, dabble, and as soon as any signs of it not working, you lose your confidence. You're going to run away and do something else, something stupid, and lose money.
Right.
So, again, my advice, how you asked, how can there be maybe quicker steps to get to the answer? And the only thing I can recommend is to focus on this. You know what I mean? To actually give this enough attention. See what you do well. See what you're comfortable trading. What style are you most confident trading? What edge are you most confident and successful trading? And rather than rushing into the market and trying to just make money, try to zone in on that one thing you're really good at, and once you figure it out, then go and pound the table on it.
Right, right. I often say that your identity in the markets and your trading strategy finds you. It finds you because of what needs you may have as far as trading goes and as far as money goes. And it finds you because of how much you're able to, offer to the markets, how much capital you have, your level of expertise. So the particular strategy that you end up going with, it ends up finding you. I'll give you guys an example, right? I mean, when I started out and I, started out prop trading, and I'll try to bring up that sheet that I had, which, was way back in the day from when I started just prop trading. I was, what it was is that when I was prop trading and, when I was aggressively, at the sort of prop firm, trading in and out every single day, it didn't really fit my style because it was too many decisions to make at one point, right? And this was, this is an example here. This was like my old spreadsheet from when I started trading back in 2006, 2007. And you can see here, like, I don't know, April 2008, you can see here, I'm having a couple $1,000 months, and then all of a sudden, I have a really nice month. But if you notice, like, there's way too many decisions, and you can't really see it here, but I'm trading 82,000 shares, 100,000 shares a day kind of thing. And I'm trading so much, right? Racking up commissions here. So you'll notice here, gross here, $500. You're adding another 500 in commissions on top of that. You might go on a couple streaks where you make most of your money. And by the way, I always make most of my money within a couple of days. Okay, within a couple of days, that's it. You guys are saying you don't see the
I don't see
spreadsheet
it. I was
right
just
now.
going to say that. I don't see the spreadsheet either.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Do you guys see, what do you guys see? You guys see the,
The trader's hierarchy thing that you had up there.
oh wow. Oh wow. So that might be, let me shoot this thing up a little bit. This passes to you right now. I'm going to pass it right
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
me and let's see if that works. Okay, how about
Yeah, that's
now?
strange. Now I see your charts.
Now you see my charts. Okay, and now?
There you go. We're
There
good
you
now.
go. Okay, okay. So again, you're looking at a spreadsheet here of when I was trading back at the proprietary trading firm. And this is every day here, right? This is every day, me trading a crap ton of shares. Let's keep going here. Let's go to August here. Look at this, minus 14 grand. Look at this, September here. And you look at this, both 2 days here where I make most of my money. And then I'm chasing after, let's say, like 100 grand for the month. And then look at this, right? You're racking up losses here just because you're trying to get to a certain, just to see if you're trying to get to a certain number. Like I'll chase after these gains so much because there was so much emotion that I was putting into every single trade that I was making. I mean, look at this. This is that a million shares? That's a million shares. That's
Yeah.
1.6 million shares for the month. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of shit. That's a lot of shit. Okay, and granted, this was the month that the market was just tanking, right? This was literally the month the market was just tanking. It was just dropping points every single day. And this is one of your better months, obviously. But then as soon as these streaks happen, if you're at a prop firm too, your managers are going to be like, dude, what the fuck, or what the fuck are you doing, right? So, there's other things to ask for. So I had somebody trying to control me too on what I could do, and I'm not that kind of person that does well with any kind of authority whatsoever. Like that's one of my biggest things. Anybody that tries to tell me like, yo, you can't trade like this, I'm like, screw you. I want to trade like this. This is what I want to do, right? I want to have control over everything. Fareed is saying 273,000 shares a day. Exactly. Like that's what I was trading per day, bro. Per day. I mean, granted, that was on a big day. It's not every single day, but it's like an average of 100,000 shares a day. And that's a lot of trades. And if I actually bracketed out how many trades this was, like it's a crap load of trades every single day. And think of how many emotions that pour into every single trade. Think of what happens to you when, let's say you take a day like this, right, where you're down 13 grand, after coming off a big streak and all this stuff. Like you're exhausted. Mentally, you're just exhausted by the end of the day. I was like, dude, I can't do this. I can't do this. I know I can make this. Like this money is not a problem, but I got to do it a different way. So then I was like, all right, screw this. This prop trading shit is for the birds. And my firm here got swallowed up anyway in the crash. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna swing. I'm gonna swing whatever I can get my hands on, right? So I started with like 50 grand, 100 grand, and this was at the bottom of the markets, obviously in 2009. And granted, you need to have a good market behind you for some of these types of strategies that I was looking at. But I was able to, market started to trend. It started to get much, much lower volume, and we just went up and up and up every single day. So it was easy to kind of buy and hold something. So I had the market environment, I had the cash. So that's what helped me find the strategy that has worked for me up until now. Now, if you notice, like we topped out at around 2014. So all of this has been a massive bull market where we had some shakeouts here and there. Okay, so all my large cap names, and this is all I trade, right? I trade large cap because this is the place where I can get, a crap load of size in, for some big freaking moves. So your Bank of Americas of the world, your SPYs, whatever the hell it is. And that was the place where I could really build a sizable position and hang on to these things for a couple of months. So this worked really well for me. And obviously it works best in what? In bull markets. This works best in bull markets because you want to know why? When you get a breakout, you're going to get follow through with the market. Everything is lining up. and boom, you get your trade. You get your trade. Similar to what's happening now, like my best trades in the last 2 years are happening now. Why? Because the market is easy to read. We're going up. It's just, hey, we're going up, light volume, but we go up every single day. Okay, so again, my style, my identity was created out of the need to put a larger amount of capital to work and hang on, into an option for several weeks and be correct in the sentiment of the market, right? So if the sentiment of the market here is a nice trend higher, I get nice, I just rotate into the right trade or into the right stocks that are being bought by institutions, which I can tell through the tape. And nowadays we use, Jesus options flow here to figure that out as well. And that's it. That's it. That's how I did it for literally 6-7 years. Now, fast forward here, when 2015 came along, my whole world disappeared. My whole world disappeared. I mean, look at this shit, right? Anytime I tried to buy a breakout, right, and time it with what looked like a breakout in the markets, nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. And guess what happens to your options when you're knee deep looking for follow through and you ain't getting it? What do you think is going to happen? Right? Crazy, crazy losses. So what does that force you to do? It forces you to take a step back. It forces you either through losses to figure out that, hey, this strategy is not working right now. What are you going to do here? Are you going to scale back? Or are you going to keep banging the table here trying to make this work? And if you keep banging the table, you're going to rack up those losses really quickly. So what are you going to do? So this is about your identity, right? This is about understanding, when to put the foot to the pedal and when to hold the freak back. And that's a very difficult thing to do, especially if you've formed a habit over the last God knows how many years, because we've had such a great bull market. Now all of a sudden, all you know is trading these breakouts, and all of a sudden they don't work. It's difficult sometimes to pull that back. And that's what makes this game so difficult. And how is your ability to assess what is working and what is not? So Jesus, that's kind of my story here on how I found my identity. And now I'm actually adding in, I'm actually going back here to the, third level here and continuing to hone my habits and skills for now different kinds of markets, right? For different kinds of scenarios. So what did this do? So this helped me build a option selling strategy. So now, during the times where the market is doing absolutely freaking nothing, and we're just chopping up and down, I try to write options through these ranges. When things get a little heavy on the sell side, you start coming in writing puts, and when things get a little heavy, on the top side here, you start coming in and writing calls. So again, being able to assess what works at what time is so important here. And Jesus, can you expand on that for them a little bit too? Like how do you sense what makes money in the markets right now?
Well, you just laid out a perfect example of how you had to adjust. Okay,
Right.
I guess your main strategy was there all along, but
Yep.
again, the market, nothing lasts forever. I mean, both Lucci and I will tell you, the good times will eventually end, and you better be prepared for that.
Yep.
And like Lucci mentioned, similar to me, Lucci, and I wasn't a day trader. Okay, what I would initially do, and for those of you who know me back over the years on Twitter, I would take the sharper action, okay, meaning the stronger order flow, and I would day trade a piece of that steam initially, and then I would leave a swing position on. So I was doing both, okay, and I was finding success, like most people, throughout that whole bull run that Lucci pointed out. Problem was, again, similar to you, Lucci, in 2014, that's when I stopped focused on solely day trading. Why? My swing trades weren't working as I expected them to.
Yep.
There wasn't that follow through, okay? And, it didn't take long for me to realize that I was putting on all this risk by holding these positions overnight and trying to swing them where all my profits were coming from the action I was day trading. okay? And then when, after a little bit of time, when I took a step back and evaluated what I was doing well on and what I wasn't, it made total sense for me to just day trade. It wasn't worth the risk in swing trading any of that stuff. Okay, so again, my main focus, my main strategy was always the same. I just had to make adjustments, because of the market. And that's something you're going to have to do no matter what, okay? And the good thing is I was fortunate enough to have one core strategy, the day trading, which really, can work regardless of market conditions, right? I mean, the action throughout the day, that's not going to change. Sometimes, there'll be more volatility, more options flow. That'll equate to the better days of trading. And sometimes there won't be order flow. And again, there won't be that many opportunities to make money. But my main core strategy always remained the same. I just, again, had to make adjustments according to the market. And again, you going back to the habits and skills, just recently, by me and you linking up, you add skill, which honestly, and I'm not just saying it because Lucci and I teamed up and you're on the webinar with me, it's amazing how fast he got a grasp of the wise guy order flow and implemented it into his strategy. It amazes me because I've seen so many traders have a tough time in trying to, incorporate it into their own style. And, the biggest mistake amongst traders is they try to change their style. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Instead of incorporating it. And that's where they run into trouble. Where, on your end, that wasn't even an option for you. You said, okay, I see something here. I see an edge, and I know it works. Yep. How can I apply this to what I do best? Right. And, help my trading strategy, and that's what you did. So that's another habit and skill. And the habit and skill part, that's as you gain experience, the longer you play this game, you're going to continue to add habits and skills. And hopefully, you let go of those bad habits and increase those good habits. But the skills aspect, you're going to add skills the more and more you trade. Obviously, this game is all about experience. The more experience, the better feel, the better trader you become. Yeah. All right, so that's never going to end. But that's for me. Like on my end, that's what really was that recent transition. I tried everything out there, guys, okay? And again, I'm not bad-mouthing other strategies. I joke around about the technical aspect, me and Lucci, we get a couple of laughs, bad-mouthing charts and all that, and I do it in a joking manner. But I tried, you name it, and I've tried it, okay, over my 20-year career. And nothing worked for me. Nothing worked for me. I'm not saying I blew up my account using everything else, but I never found consistency. I'd make some money, give it back. I'd make some money, give it back, and continuously spun my wheels, throughout the majority of my career. And then, I guess you could call it luck or whatever the case may be. I was turned on by the unusual options activity, just because, again, the premise made sense to me. I gathered an interest from it, and I dug a little deeper into it than most people do, and I found a little niche and obviously an edge that I use constantly, the aggressive aspect of the order flow, and I found something that works, and I can find consistency. And, somebody asked a question like, where was that turning point for me? Once I had the confidence, okay, that I found something that worked and I can make consistent money. Again, I understood it wasn't a get-rich thing, you know what I mean? It's not where I'm going to buy a fistful of calls and look for 3,000%. I knew that I would have to put in the time, put in the work on a day-to-day basis, but I knew if I did and all my focus went on just that I would find success. Okay, and that's where everything started to turn for me. When I became serious and just started to focus and pound the table on that one edge that I have, that I knew and had confidence would work for me if I did what I had to do. Okay, and that's where you guys gotta. That's the goal you want to get to. In the Steam room, we have 300 members there, and I get constantly asked like, how do you make money, Jesus? How should I trade it now? And my first answer to all of that is, what type of trader do you want to be? You
Right.
know what I mean? What type of trader are you most comfortable being?
Right.
You know, maybe you don't have the time to day trade, right? If you're doing something else during the market hours, I mean, you can't expect yourself to day trade. It's impossible. I
Right.
mean, me, myself, Lucci, we're staring at the tape all day long, you know? So if you can't be in front of a screen all day long, obviously it's going to create, you know, it's going to be a difficult situation for you to day trade. So automatically, you got to X that out, right? You can't, that doesn't apply to you. So now you understand you have to take positions and you have to swing trade, okay? And once you figure that out, now you have to focus on what you do well, what is, how can you minimize that risk? You know what I mean? When are the times to increase that risk? Like Lucci mentioned, you know, a lot of that has to do with the market itself. You know, you can't, if you're a long-only trader per se, and we're in the late December into early February correction, you can't be going bonkers on the long side if you have to swing trade because you're going to bury yourself. You
Indeed.
know, so these are the things that you have to zone in on, figure out what works for you. You know, nail down that risk part. That's the most important thing out of it all. And then again, like me, myself, like Lucci, light bulbs will go off, and you're not going to want to do anything else. Okay, that's how you block out the noise. The question was, how do I block out the noise? Because Annie, the noise, I know it's noise. It's not going to make me money. I've done all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Why would I deviate from something that makes me money, you know, just because what, it looks interesting, or I'm hearing stories of people making, you know, 3,000% on weekly options or whatever the case. I have no interest in that because I know and I'm confident, there's that word again, confident, that I have an edge
Right.
that I can make myself money in. So
Right.
that's where you got to get to. I know, you know, there's traders out there that I guess you could say that point seems far away in a sense, you know, like how do I get that? But think of it, I'm in this game 20 years, and it took me a damn long time to get to that point, you know? So it's going to take time. But the
Right.
more you focus on what you do well and the style you need to trade, once you just focus on that and stop getting involved in everything else, it'll make that process a lot quicker.
Right. You know, and we're getting a lot of questions that are starting to come in. And by the way, guys, go ahead and ask us anything here that you want to. We're going to open it up for Q&A shortly here. But there are some questions that we want to ask you, and some questions that you want to write down, that you want to kind of figure this out and get to this strategy that works for you. You know, number one is, can you afford the strategy, right? If you guys got a $5,000 account or a $10,000 account, there's only so much. There's only so many things you can do, and the temptation to try to flip, you know, a $5,000 account or a $10,000 account into, you know, into 50 grand or 100 grand, you know, is pretty aggressive out there, especially with, you know, weekly option gains. You know, so for example, you know, what was a big mover here that we had on Friday here? Jesus, what was something that that moved pretty
What's that?
aggressively? Uh,
APC, that
yeah.
one.
Netflix. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
Netflix.
Netflix.
Netflix
Yeah,
was a
Netflix.
great one, right? So you take a look at, let's say, a 97 call on something like freaking Netflix, right? And you know, and you look at it from Friday's action, you got a 60-cent option that goes to a $2.40, right? So if you guys are in the weekly option space, like, you know that these gains are possible. Now, are they likely here? Well, it's like yes and no. What do you have to do to get there? Like, if you look at the last 10 days of this shit, like, what are you going to do? You're going to make money during this? Chances are, if you're going for this move previously and you're in a little bit too early, and, you know, we'll go ahead and pull up Netflix here. Netflix kind of ripped and then just kind of did nothing for a while. Like, during this, you're not going to be making any money. The problem is that when you aggressively trade during this, you're also going to be racking up losses, right? So you need to be there when, you know, this thing really makes an explosive move, so that you can either make back your losses and then make something on top of that, right? So the guise of the gains that you can make on weekly options, like, yes, it's there, but what do you have to do to get it? Okay? And do you have the account size necessary to get it, right? Or do you want to kind of do a swing situation, right? It's like, okay, if I know I don't have the access, if I know I can't do this, the way, and I know I can't sort of time these moves properly, then what do I have to do? Well, okay, I got to buy a little bit more time. I got to suffer the consequences and maybe not make as much money, but at least I won't lose. At least I won't get my ass kicked, right? So in this situation, maybe you buy a September option and you buy during this and you put maybe $1,000 or $2,000 on this, because you have a 10,000 account or 20,000 account or whatever the hell it is, and you sit on it for a while. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to make double or triple, but you're going to be able to stay in these things and actually make some money off this versus racking up losses, taking that $10,000 account down to fucking 5,000, and then maybe even missing this move because you're so pissed off that you just traded when there was nothing going on, right? How many of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, when you're trading options? That's the options game right there. So even though you get an explosive move at some point on your options like this, Alex is saying truth. Rusty is saying, yes, been there. I'm getting smiles here from Jimmy. Like, you guys know the deal. I don't have to sit here and preach this shit to you. But at the end of the day, it's like, even though you see this stuff, guess what? You're still blinded by this, right? You're still under the guise that it's like, holy crap, it is there. I just got to find a way to get it, right? Now, if you're going to play weeklies and you got a $10,000 account and you're racking up losses to try to figure out when this is going to happen, well, guess what? You don't have enough cash to do this. You don't have enough cash to do this. You need a 100,000 account. You need at least a 50 grand account here. BM is saying, I can totally relate to what you're saying. I'm struggling with the same at times. This is the deal here. This is literally the deal. And unless you're quick enough on weekly options and you really understand and have gone through enough habits and skills to figure out like the guise of weekly options and how they work, it's like if you get a immediate pop on a weekly and you're not your risk is not there and you're just kind of hanging on to these things. Now remember, this is a monthly option. If you take a look at a freaking weekly, it's going to look a lot different here. As the second you buy, and the second you buy a little bit too early, what's going to happen. You're talking about a dollar option here that goes to 40, right? Like, you're going to take 50% losses, on trying to figure out when this shit is going to happen. And let's say you're not in this move, then what are you going to do with all these losses that you took here before? What are you going to do? You're going to do now your emotions are fucked. Like, now you got to think about your emotions at this time. You missed this move. Now what do you think you're going to do? You're going to throw it at anything. You're going to throw it at anything, and you're going to continue the shit show that you're already in, okay? And I can point out problems like this with any freaking strategy. You guys want to trade penny stocks? Okay, I got you. You guys want to trade stocks? Whatever. Like, we can sit here and point out all the problems. Okay. The question is that what can you afford the strategy that you're working on? Okay. So this is also going to help you find that identity, right? So if you got a 10K account, 20K account, whatever the hell it is, you got to figure out what's actually going to work. Then the next question you got to ask is, does it match your risk tolerance, right? What is the tolerance that you have for risk? What kind of money can you afford to lose out here? What kind of money can you not afford to lose here? If you're not asking those questions, you're going to be in trouble. Now, the next one is, do you have time for it? Jesus was saying earlier, it's like, if you got a day job, what the fuck are you doing getting alerts for intraday trades? What are you doing? What are you doing? And we find this all the time. We get people that are just hopping in here. They're looking for alerts. These guys are at work, and they're sitting here in this chat room. They're looking for, okay, should I trade this? Okay, should I trade this? Okay, should I, Bank of America here just got a sweep here, 50 grand. Should I trade this? I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Jesus and I, we can't do anything but laugh at these people. You know what I mean? Because they haven't gone through the levels. They have not gone through the levels here at all. Okay. So again, this is about you finding that identity here. Last question you want to ask yourself, is it sustainable for you psychologically? Okay. And nobody really thinks about this until it's too late, right, Jesus? I mean, nobody really goes and reflects on their mentality while they're in the middle of it, until after the, it's kind of like that chaos theory, right? There's no changes unless shit hits the fan. You know, unfortunately, as human beings, I figured I assume that's the human condition, right? We don't change unless some bad shit happens. I mean, unless that's at least for me. I don't know about you, Jesus.
Yeah, but besides that too, the that what you just mentioned, I think um, hits home with me more than anything. Because here was my situation. All right, I'm not, I'm not scared to admit it. I'm a degenerate. I say that all the time.
No doubt.
Okay, I got degenerate gambler blood in my veins. I mean, that's just me. So I need action, and I need action every day. Okay,
Yep.
that's my fault. That's an emotion. That's something I was born with. It goes back in my bloodlines from father to grandfather to great grandfather. There's nothing I can do with it. I come to the conclusion. So what did I have to do? I had to figure out something that keeps me in the game every day, but at the same time keeps me the most disciplined. Okay, I'll give you an example. If I was just swing trading out there, okay, and playing off alerts and doing it, I'd be broke right now because every little piece of order flow that looks half decent to me, I'd want to take a position. Oh, I gotta own that one. Oh, I gotta own that one. And before you know it, you have one gap down day because the Fed mentioned raising rates, and that's it. You're done. Okay, so I developed a trading plan that keeps me in the game every day, right? I wake up in the morning, I can't wait to see the order flow. I'm only trading when call sweepers are aggressive because I'm long only. Again, that was something I added to the game plan, right? I mean, there's put alerts out there. I'm not trading them, one, because I haven't found success trading them in the past, and two, it keeps me the most disciplined when I'm long only. Because when the market is not cooperating, chances are there's not going to be too many aggressive call sweepers out there, okay? And that'll keep me sitting on my hands doing nothing. So it keeps me disciplined. And the most important thing that my game plan, helped me out with trading, and this is, without this I'd be dead, is minimizing my risk, okay? That was the problem with me swing trading, is that I couldn't minimize my drawdowns as much as I would like it, as much as I would, enough for me to feel comfortable. I couldn't figure out a way to minimize that aspect of my swing trading. So with day trading, it's easy for me. If a stock doesn't react off a call sweeper, heads the other way, I'm stopping myself out. There's no thinking involved for me. There's nothing, you know what I mean? There's no that, I got to hold overnight and worry about Asia. And again, that makes me feel confident.
Right.
You understand? I'm not scared to pull the trigger. A lot of times with swing trading, I'd be scared, Lucci, to pull the trigger, even though it was a sharp alert, met all my parameters,
Yeah.
okay? And it was swing trade worthy.
Yeah.
I was hesitant because of that overnight risk
that's also
that I couldn't manage.
Yeah, that's also because now too you're in the groove. You know what I mean? You're in the groove with
Right.
that particular strategy, and for you to just flip and just do some of the shit that I'm doing, even though I take what you're doing and I just amplify the ones that I think are just going to have follow through. That's literally all.
Right.
That's literally all that I do. So again, two different ways of looking at the same shit, and eventually those two worlds collide. Like, guys, I'll even give you something else too about identity formation, habits, and skills, and just continuing towards this higher level, the top of the pyramid. Is that what Jesus can't do? I can do. You know what I mean? And we can automate that. You know what I mean? We can now automate that simply because of the partnership that we have created, him and I, and the expertise that he has brought to the table as far as the options flow perspective. This points me in the right direction to the names that I want to swing. And then we can slowly just kind of, crack down on which ones that we want to. And now we can go to a process of automating some of the swing trades that happen in the steam room here. Some of the best ones that hit, and then we bring our own timing into the scenario. I bring my own timing analysis into the scenario as far as buying the right option, giving it enough time, whatever the hell it is, and then analyzing going forward. and we sort of cherry pick here some of the best swing trades, and we can now automate that. You know what I mean? So him and I now can work together to create a new strategy, right? One that just leverages both of our strengths. So this is another example here of how you're going to get closer to that pyramid.
And it takes that, it takes that emotion out. And, I'm telling you from my experience, that was a killer. Like, when you're playing with scared money, guys, you're dead in this game.
Yeah, you
Okay,
did.
you can't,
Yeah,
you can't do it.
You're
Yeah,
fucking
you,
dead.
you can't do it. And I see it again, now that since Lucci and I have teamed up and we got the steam, I see it every day where, people are trying to day trade off the action and the first trade they take is a loser. Okay, so they get stopped out for a small loss. Now, they're scared to play. What happens? They miss 3 big winners. You know what I mean? You can't, it's an emotion that you're going to deal with. And if you can't tame that emotion, you got to figure out a different style. And that's what I had to do. I realized that I would miss big winners swing trading because I was afraid to fire because of that overnight risk, and it cost me money. So, and that's what I'm saying, guys. It's different, and that's why both Lucci and I, we're not big on throwing out these stock picks and buy here, sell here, because it's a waste of time. It's so hard, to try to mimic somebody's trades. You got to figure it out on your own, and you should want to figure it out on your own. You know what I mean? Because what happens if that stock picker drops dead? Then what do you do in this market? You know what I mean? You want to find something that's yours, and again, have the confidence to go into this game every day and be able to fire and not be afraid. And that ultimately is what's going to make you, a professional trader. And we see there's so many. Again, we talk about the order flow because that's what we do. But, since I've been doing what I've been doing, I see so many different ways that people, traders use wise guy action and have success. They're not trading my way. They're not trading Lucci's way. Lucci trades some of the stronger action that meets up with what he's looking at, and that's what he's looking for.
Right.
I'm intraday trading off the action. A couple of guys I know who had been knocking the ball out of the park, they go home, generate a watch list every night of names, I guess, that meet up technically, or one guy I know was into Elliott Waves, and they have their list. They come in, and any name that catches sweeper action, they're firing.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? They use it completely different than the way Lucci and I use it. I mean, that's what you guys have to hone in on. You got to figure out a style that suits you best. And then once you figure it out and you understand that it works, that's where all your focus has to be day in and day out in this market.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, guys, we got a bunch of questions here coming in. Everybody is still asking, where can you get the record? I'm going to start slapping people. I'm really going to start slapping people. Okay, so before we open it up to questions, guys, go ahead and ask us whatever you want to. We are still going ahead and giving you guys a little coupon here as far as getting into the Steam Room. You get $49 for your first month, and then you get billed at $199 after that. Again, you get access to this really, really cool layout, real-time options order flow, aggressive style sweepers that we like to throw out there for intraday activity, for tradable activity. And that's kind of what we scan for. Again, there's so many other scanners out there for options activity. There's so much options activity in general. And just to give you guys, Fidelity here has a thing that they do with LiveVol, and they just throw out some of the biggest trades that happen here. Looking at everything that is happening on a stock here will drive you absolutely insane. And it is impossible here to look at all that options flow, let alone make sense of it all. Okay, but we can make sense through some of it through the order types and the execution. And this is the stuff that is tradable to us and has provided us with an edge. So you get access to the feed, also the private Twitter feed as well. If you guys just want the private Twitter feed too, you can check in this box here. Just go ahead and send us your Twitter handle, and you can just get the private Twitter feed. But then you get also access to all of us, weekly webinars too. There's a lot of different styles of traders in there as well, futures guys, equities guys, options guys, I mean, you name it. Guys who want to do intraday trading, swing traders like myself. You get it all.
Crude oil guys. We got more and more crude guys in there trading
Yeah.
crude a little
Yeah,
bit.
crude is an interesting thing to
Yeah.
mess around with right now too, especially energies here are starting to get back into the mix. So we'll see what's up going forward. But again, 49 bucks first month here, and then you get billed 199 after that. You guys have the link in your question box. And let's go ahead and take some questions. Again, here we're talking identity formation. Anybody who wants access to the previous webinars, if you have more than an ounce of brain power, you would see the link here, and you know, very easy to get access to it. You even see the link up here. Okay, so Alan is saying, what's the difference between the Steam Room and the private Twitter? Well, again, Steam Room is a chat application, and this can work. This can also work on your mobile too, and it's more a community of traders, right? So if you need that extra level of commitment, if you need that extra level of discussion here, you know, talking trades out and everything like that, we've established really good relationships with most of our traders too. You know, we shoot the shit with these guys all the time. Again, we do weekly webinars here. Jesus even does a pre-market webinar just to set things up for the day. And again, we
Yeah.
discuss.
Could I?
Yeah,
Okay.
if
I'm
you want
sorry.
to,
I
yeah,
was
if you
kidding.
want to hit this one too, but we discuss a lot of the trade details much more inside the chat room, whereas on private Twitter feed, you're just going to get the raw data. Okay, so that's what you're going to get. So when you're in the private Twitter feed, actually, I think this is this is
Yeah. This is it. Scroll down.
right.
There
So
you go.
you'll just get all of these alerts here, and again, you'll just get it through your private Twitter. These are timely as well. All of this stuff is automated, so once it gets pushed through here, it gets pushed to the private Twitter feed as well. You know, so that's the difference here. Obviously, the subscription for private Twitter feed is considerably lower as well. Jesus, you want to comment on that one?
Yeah. I just basically it's the easiest way to understand is that if you already have a trading style, okay, or just maybe want to get a feel for the flow and the alerts, that's private Twitter, okay? If you have a style, you know how to use these alerts. Again, you're looking just for alerts as quick as you're going to get them. That's the spot. You're not going to get them any quicker anywhere else. If you want to learn how to incorporate all this stuff into a style, okay, or into your trading style, you know, how can it maybe help your style in particular? That's where the Steam Room chat, you know, has a big influence. One, like Lucci mentioned, we do the webinars every morning, twice a week after hours. Again, how to, you know, on action that may suit you as a swing trader or what we did during the day trading wise. And it's more involved. You have access to Lucci and I throughout the market hours, where private Twitter, we're not answering any questions. You know, so that's the major difference. If you want to learn how to incorporate all this wise guy action stuff into a style or your own style already, that's where the chat room is the place to be. If you already know what you're doing and you just want the alerts in real time, then obviously that's why private Twitter is so much cheaper.
Indeed, indeed. Greg here, we got a question on Lucci Method and the Flow Series. I'll get to that in a second, but we got a great question here from Rusty. It's got quite a story here, man, and I'm happy you're opening up here and allowing us to use your example here to talk about it. He said he wanted to ask this last week. Trade stock only is finally coming together. It's taken 4 years. Taking profits consistently out of the market, 26 winning weeks out of 31, and cutting losses
Nice.
very short. I'm up 20%, 23% year to date, finding my identity, handling emotions, managing risk, but can't seem to shake the thought in my head that I'm getting lucky. When I look at my gains at the end of each week, they don't seem real because for so long I didn't make money. I'm feeling so confident, so in the groove. It's scary. I say all that to ask, did you guys struggle with this, and how do you beat back those voices? So if you notice, guys, like, you know, everybody has, it's so different for everybody. You know, people have different fears. People have different things that make them tick. So for me, like when I started making money, I wasn't scared of it at all because I knew I could do it, right? So as soon as it happened, like it already happened in my head, so I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like I didn't look back on it. I was just like, okay, I expect this to be like this all the time now. You know what I mean? So it gave me even more confidence. What scared me is that when these things stopped working and I would go into like a
Yeah.
dry spell, I would be so scared that, oh my God, am I even going to be able to come back from this? You know what I mean? That's what I would be scared about. So you're scared that you're so confident right now. And that's actually a good fear, man. That's actually that's an example of a good fear, because that'll keep you, it should keep you on point. You know what I mean? But you can't allow it to stop you from clicking the keys the way you are. You know what I mean? When you get in that flow state, which you are in right now, like, that's all it needs to be. The second you try to compound it with some other bullshit, aka, oh, this shouldn't be happening to me, or whatever, that fraction of a second that you hesitate before hitting the keys because you're not in your flow state or whatever the hell it is, that second is going to cost you. That fraction of a second is going to cost you. And all that shit in your mind, like, at some point it impacts your trading some way, somehow, and some for the good, some for the bad. So I think right now that's a good fear for you to have, to keep you on kind of an even keel, so it doesn't go to your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not so confident that it goes to your head. Overconfidence is a huge problem too. You know what I mean? Like, I get overconfident. So when I go on $1 million run, like, I think I'm going to make 10 that year, and subsequently, I shoot myself in the ass. You know what I mean? So I got the converse of that. And it's crazy to see how we all have kind of different ways of responding to stimulus, I should say.
And Rusty, it's a great point you bring up because we're seeing a lot of it now. And you mentioned they take 31 weeks, so it may be different for you. But now more than ever, you see traders, whoever's long is making money, okay, and everybody thinks they're smarter than the market. You know what I mean? They just buy the dip, they average down, whatever they're doing, that they're getting lucky, okay? The answer to your question is, am I getting lucky, is going to end up, the answer is going to come when, how much of these profits do you keep
Yeah.
when shit starts to turn? That's what's going to happen. Like, if you're doing what you need to do, you mentioned minimizing your risk, okay? It's not that you're getting lucky, it's that you're getting participation from the overall market, and those should be the times where you make more money for yourself, okay? But I'll give you an example of luck. If a stock went through your stop to the downside, and you decided, you know what, I'm not going to stop myself out. Chances are it's going to come back and go higher. And it did, you got lucky, okay? That's luck. So if you're doing what and you mentioned that you are, if you're doing what you need to do, you're managing your risk properly, you're not breaking your rules, okay, it's not luck, it's just a sweet spot in the market, and you should be able to make more money than usual. When the tide turns, how you react and how you play is ultimately going to determine whether your whole game plan relies on luck or not. I mean, there's no quick answer now. I mean, right now, like I said, you're going to make money. I mean, 90% of the traders out there are making money. Unless you're trying to outsmart the market and trying to short the top here, right, you're going to make money. The difference, I say it all the time, the difference between the pros and retail is how much money do they keep when the tide turns. That's what ultimately is going to decide how far you get in this game.
Yeah, and that's a big one too. And again, like, you got to have the foresight to think about these things. You know what I mean? So
Of
Rusty,
course.
you're up 23% on the year. You don't want to fuck that up. You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to think outside the box here a little bit and say to yourself, okay, I'm at a good place for where I want to be for the year, or maybe you want to push it a little bit, or maybe you have the market right now to push it for a little bit. And this is all about habits and skills and continuing upon a good technical and psychological foundation. So to give you an example, like, I remember one year, like, I was up like 400%. You know what I mean? Like, usually you should probably chill the fuck out, when you're up that kind of money. And again, like, I'm trading crazy options, with a mil to 2 mil book, so to make 2 times or 3 times on your money in a year with that kind of book, like, that's good. You know what I mean? You really don't have to go out and be like, okay, I want to try to make more and more and more and more. And that's often what I do, right? The latter. And subsequently, like, the market just kind of turned at that point, and what I was doing, again, where I needed to pull back, I chose to push the bar, and ended up much lower, than where I wanted to be. So sometimes you got to think a little bit outside the box, think outside your emotions. and take an unbiased approach here, because again, emotions can really push you towards one way, and you can't see any other way until it's too late. All right,
Yeah,
so
you got to plan ahead. You have to be 100% right. You have to have a plan for when, when shit turns, okay? And not many traders do. They just ride the wave and end up, it sneaks up on them, and that's how it goes, man.
right,
That's how they give back all their money and then some. And where, an easy way to look at it, and both Lucci and I both look at it this way, like at the start of a trend, right? Like this rally is getting further, longer in the tooth here as we go, and there'll be pauses along the way that sets up new trends, hopefully. But it's almost like a funnel. You want your max risk to be at the start of the trend, and then, slowly take on less risk as we push higher,
right,
okay? And then, again, we get a pullback or lengthy consolidation, and it sets up a whole new trend. The same thing goes. You don't want it, like Lucci mentioned, where, he's up 400%, and then you're not doing that funnel thing. It's actually your max risk is getting bigger and bigger and bigger as
right,
you're getting longer in the tooth. That's
right.
when, the pullback is going to kill you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's the way it
Indeed.
goes.
Alan is saying, thank you for answering. Does Steam Room only good for day traders? I have a daytime job. I wonder how Steam Room would benefit me. So, and I'll actually, Jesus, why don't I go ahead and just let you answer this one? We have a lot of swing traders here that just want access to the flow that sets up, names like this friggin' NVIDIA,
Yeah, a lot of those.
names that they're just kind of trending into. And by the way, what we're seeing a lot now is aggressive call buying in names like Amazon, Google, Facebook, and they're all going in the money.
Apple.
Yeah, Apple too. They're all going in the money or at or well deep in the money and buying out to December, and they're just going for a melt up in all of these FANG names. So, Alan, if you can use the flow to make that assessment, which we've done, now you can go ahead, take a look at your chain, figure out, okay, I know what these guys are doing. Now I want to go ahead and play with them and figure out the right strike to mess around with. You know what I mean? So that swing trade perspective that you get just by looking at the flow, again, you got to tie it in with some other shit. You know what I mean? And most of the people that use our feed, that just want to swing alerts, again, they have their own kind of set of rules or whatever. They're just using this as an indicator. They're using this as an indicator of where they want to be and try to understand what some of the smart money is doing. So, Alan, if you need a little bit of understanding as far as how to do that, we could do that as well. I mean, him and I just created this modern flow trading course, and that will go ahead and basically tell you what to do with these things. What exactly they are, how they're put out there by some of the smarter money out there. And then you'll get trade reviews. So you get swing trade and day trade reviews here with us, and then you get a month free of the Steam Room as well. So if you want to check this one out, just go ahead and click this link, and hopefully we'll see you in there here, Lewis.
Yeah, we have more swing traders than we do day traders. The only difference, Alan, is that I don't know how if you're a new trader or you're experienced, but like I mentioned a bit earlier, I know professional swing traders, position traders who use the wise guy action as confirmation to names they're already looking at. You know what I mean? So they have the setups there. Like an example, NVIDIA, Apple, Facebook, they all meet what they look for already. And as soon as they see legitimate wise guy action come in, that's that confirmation that gives them that confidence, to swing a position. So it's a little different than day trading because your day trading is a little more robotic. You're getting in, out, and you could use the momentum over the course of the day and so forth. But, swing trading, I don't like when it comes to any indicator out there. I'm being honest. I'm biased, obviously, but I don't know of a better momentum indicator out there than aggressive option flow. I really, again, not unusual option activity. It's a lot different. I'm talking about where players are looking to get aggressive, and when you use that as an indicator to what you're already, it's only going to help you. It can't hurt you. So,
Right.
but there's a lot of swing traders in that room.
Right. Okay. We're going to take a couple more questions here. Lewis is saying, I find that a lot of times there are negative correlations between the opportunity for day trading futures, Wall Street Jesus style, and what some other guys do swing trading options. Could you comment on how to balance between focusing on where I'm strongest versus trying also to balance introducing and learning about other strategies in order to be able to adapt to various market conditions. This is, this is number 3 right here. I mean, this is number 3 literally, and number 4 as well, Lewis. So that's kind of where you are. So the question is that, he's inside the steam room. He's trading futures. He's got his own way of trading futures.
Yep.
Usually trades the ES, and I think he trades the, oil and all that a
Yeah.
little bit. And, also sees, the opportunity for some really great swing options plays. And I would say, Lewis, is that until you're comfortable doing one, you can't all of a sudden grab another one. You know what I mean? Like, you can't all of a sudden be an expert in another one. Unless you immediately just have the confidence in both the strategies and can divide or split up your time as far as your mind on looking and assessing at all these things properly during the day. Like, I know for me, like, I can't manage more than 2, 3 freaking positions. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do any of that shit. You know what I mean? Let alone doing different time strategies, right? So if I'm in a freaking ES trade for 5 minutes, and then I also have some swing options trades, like, that's, there's 2 different mindsets that you need for each one of these things. So to be able to do both is, number 1, a tall order anyway, and then number 2, like, you need the account size to be able to do both. Maybe you could do both, but in a much more invasive situation, right, Lewis? So instead of going swing long a PXD, which we did the other day, instead of doing that, maybe you go out and sell far out of the money options, right? That way, there's even less risk on the table, right? And you're just kind of shaving far out of the money premium and going for a lot less, premium to capture, but, a lot less risky kind of thing. So maybe you need to adjust the type of strategy that you want in order to be able to combine the 2. I don't know, Jesus, you got any advice for him?
Yeah, well, I know Lewis well. We talk every day, and he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Trading futures. I give him credit. He's patient.
Yep.
Sometimes more patient than he would like. But that's not a bad thing. He's very patient. He's disciplined when something's not there. He's not, just looking to grab onto any trade just for, just for the action purposes. But what I would recommend, I agree with Lucci 100%. It's tough to really put 100% focus into both. You know what I mean? But I would try, maybe Lewis, trying to stick to some of maybe the sharper action out there where it's less names, you know what I mean? And start paying attention to that, as far as a swing trade basis. You can't day trade both. It's going to be hard when you're focusing on levels for CL and trying to day trade momentum over sweeper.
Right.
Those 2 can collide, and you don't want that mess.
Right.
But what I would recommend is stick with what you're doing because you do it well, and try to take a look at selective names that maybe you can swing positions. Like Lucci mentioned, you see some action, and you could always ask me throughout the day if the order is sharp enough, and maybe, you put on a position here and there, start small to get a feel for it. But it's definitely something you could do on the side. You got to be more selective,
yeah.
And I would stick to sharper action, so
yeah.
you don't have to stare at it all day long.
Yeah, and I think, too, what Lewis is also alluding to is that when ES goes dry like this, and unless you're dope at trading the ranges, which, I don't know if you are, Lewis, or not, a lot of folks aren't, and when you get, let's say, a 20-cent range on the ES or a 2-handle or 3-handle range on the ES, like, you got to sit there and do nothing. And then obviously while you're sitting there and doing nothing, like, other shit is popping off. So to be able to just tune that out, I understand is difficult too. So Lewis, kind of, you're in that situation where it's like,
that's exactly his situation.
Yeah.
That's what happened. He was cursing out that there was no movement over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. So Lewis, you got to decide that if you need to turn out the noise, you know what I'm saying, and it's okay, and I am so comfortable in saying that, Lewis, maybe 6 months of your time is better dedicated to just yourself and what you're doing. You know what I mean? So that you don't have the noise of other things going on. The problem is, though, even if you're in this chat room or not, you're still going to see, you're still going to see Netflix run 4 fucking points, and you're still going to look at the options and be like, damn, That was a pretty juicy intraday trade right there. So regardless of how much you try to take yourself out of the scenario or out of the noise or whatever it is, it's still going to be present. The question is that are you confident in what you're doing enough to know that if you juice just that, you're going to get to where you want to be? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're still questioning like your ability to get to where you want to be, that's when you're going to flip flop between all this other shit. Point blank, plain and simple.
Yep.
So find what it is that is going to get you there, that you have the confidence to, and then do what you need to just stick with that. Alan here has got a couple more questions here. Alan, can I understand the difference between Steam Room, Wise Guy Revealed, and then is the courses that include how to use the Steam Room? Still not sure what would help me fit me better. Alan, I'm going to get you in a second. Alex is saying hesitated on the Netflix weekly calls even after taking a second to look at the daily chart after the rumor hit. Missed on 5 times return. Dude, don't worry about it. This shit happens every day, dude. Whatever. Tomorrow there's going to be another rumor on something, and there's going to be crazy shit that's happening. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. And Alex, this is a big problem that most traders have, is that they get stuck on the fact that, holy crap, I could have made 2-3 times my account. They dream of what it would have done to their capital account, and subsequently they get pissed off, and it affects their next trade and the next trade and the next trade because of what they could have done on X, Y, and Z. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean, Alex? Until you get to the point where you're saying that, and this is also part of the hierarchy here and forming your identity and being able to say, like, I don't give a shit because I know this is going to happen every single day. I mean, Jesus and I can pick moves like this that happen every single day, not even once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
Can I just say, Alex, put yourself in my shoes. A lot of these names that end up doing this, you're talking about 300-400%. I'm taking 60 cents, 70 cents off the table on the common.
There you go.
Okay, so that's what it is. But again, it doesn't affect me for what I focus on doing for myself. I'm totally happy with the 60, 70 cents. So again, it all comes down to having the confidence in what you do, and if you have the confidence that you have an edge that the long term they'll be there. You're not worried about one stock. I mean, like Lucci mentioned, if you have something you plan on working on for years in this game, I mean, what the hell's one stock mean? Nothing.
Exactly. All right, we'll take one more question here on the Steam Room stuff. Alan is asking about the difference between the course and all that. I will tell you that both Jesus and I, we spent a good amount of time just putting this stuff together. I mean, again, we have a lot of people that just don't understand options in general, and we try to take a different approach just to showing the type of options orders that are tradable. You know what I mean? And not only tradable from the options perspective, but they're tradable from the equity perspective. Even if you want to trade futures, like, it's a great sentiment read. Like, there's so many different ways to use this to add to what you want to do as a trader and what you want to accomplish as a trader. So if you're a swing trader, this adds to your sentiment here. It also finds you the right names that other people want to buy too. You don't want to be the only person in fucking Netflix buying this thing. You want to be able to buy behind somebody else, somebody that has a lot more capital and somebody that can move this damn thing. Because if you're not in names that are moving, guess what? You're going to end up buying United States Steel at $20 on the way down, and the shit's going to go to $6 on you. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be in the right place at the right time. And the flow helps you find where that is, whether you're an intraday trader, and it doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to do. So this particular class, if you don't know how to trade just in general options, or you need to advance some of your knowledge, it's a great starting place. Plus, you get a free month of the Steam Room anyway, man. So I would totally recommend going with this one here for Alan.
Yeah, and Alan, basically, the webinars we just did, that pyramid, that's what this course basically sets you up. Okay, once now you're putting in the commitment to developing a strategy off of this. You have this course. You nail down the basics, the understanding. What you're dealing, why it happens, why these things are working out, what's the real edge. Okay, and then once you're done, now it's the conversation you're having with yourself and what type of trader you want to be to take advantage of this, and then you have a webinar once a week with Lucci and I. We go over the stuff we traded that week, that day, and take questions from, all the people who sign up for the course, as far as their trading is concerned, what they should be looking at. And again, I think that's the biggest benefit is once you do the course and you learn all the basics and know what you need to know, those webinars can really help as far as developing a plan to suit your needs. So, and then again, you get the steam room for a month to implement all that.
All right. All right, guys. Well, we are going to go ahead and close it up here. Thank you for joining us. And again, next Saturday, we will finish up the pyramid here, and we'll throw in number 5, again, how to access the recordings here if you are, uh, what is technically impaired here and can't see or can't use your eyes here. This is the link that you want to use. You can go ahead and access all the videos right here on this landing page. You can find out a lot about us. Just go to wallstreetjesus.com // here, hierarchy, and you'll get all the videos here and then some. Go ahead and use these sales links too as well. Take advantage of the coupons, and we will see you next Saturday.
Have a great weekend, everybody.